Generic greetings and welcome to Construction Plus Prison Architect Alpha 26, Episode 3. In the previous episode, we started construction. We did the typical changes before we started all of the building, as in taking your feedback and adding it, or rather amending the prison based on what you've said. And then we started construction. We built a fairly large lump of concrete here. We just slabbed it down. In fact, this was, I believe, 50 grand just for one big lump. Obviously, we have our kitchen, our really oversized canteen. I know, yes, people have pointed out that it's oversized. I know. We're going to be staff room and our offices and all of that sort of thing around here. We also went ahead and put a nice fence all the way around the outside so our yards are no longer shouting at us, saying that we don't have them legal. And then we also finished off the infirmary, the morgue, and the office. I say finished off, there's only one bed in there should be a lot more, and more doctors. But, you know, we only did that just to get the grant done. In this episode, I'm going to be building this main cell block here. Now, you might think, hang on, that's going to be problematic because you haven't got enough money in the last episode. You only had 12,000, but I've got 120,000 now. You don't have to ask how I've got it, but yeah, I hacked it in. And I'll explain why just after I do this. Now, the thing is, I wasn't going to bother with it. I was just going to, you know, just leave it and see if we can build it along the lines of what we normally do, which is just, you know, adapting, getting on with it, and working it through the grant system and such. However, it's not actually possible. Or rather it was, but I would have to wait for the short-term investment and then the long-term investment to complete just to get this little bit done. So, my argument is it's just more fun to get the money and do it here. My previous prison, the Alpha 25 prison, I already checked and it was worth 240,000 before we finished the series. It was exactly 240,000, nearly 500,000 generic units of currency, which is all good, So I've given myself half of that. So I still haven't got all of what we would have if I sold the previous one, but I really wish I did sell it and move on to this one, because it means we could just get on with the building, because some people are going to complain, but people complain either way, I guess. I don't know whether you personally are bothered, but I'd rather just get on with it. So we're going to be building the main cell block in here. These bits here we probably won't do, but we will get the cells top and bottom, holding cell, security, solitary, shower. Get all that put in, get a couple of guards, a couple of chefs, and maybe even get going. I don't think we'll get prisoners this episode, but certainly get close to having some. Now, a lot of people have been mentioning these areas around here, these gaps. Now, originally, they were going to be indoors like that. And people have said, well, why don't you instead do it another way? Why don't you make them all outside, but still have the little sort of airlocky things, as I've called them, along the way, and have this as outside? It's actually possible. That is actually an idea. And I don't think it's a bad idea either. So I think that's what we're going to do, just to change it up a little bit. So these lines here, all the thing that goes all the way down here, and all along there, will be indoors. There's still far enough away so that nothing can be flung in as far as I'm aware. If I see it happening, then I'm just going to concrete over the whole thing immediately and just put a big tarpaulin over the top and say, right, it's indoors, deal with it. So, yeah, we will get on with that. We will do that. This bit here, I am going to actually knock a bit down. I'm going to knock all of these walls down and this bit, so we have that as an external bit. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go to foundation, and I'll go to bulldoze, and actually bulldoze all of this bit here, and then over there as well, because we want that to be, like I say, outdoors as well. So we'll get onto that in a moment. But I think it's just going to be, you know, it'll be a bit more interesting. This here is still going to be a big perimeter wall all the way along the outside, just to protect the prison. Now, we are actually, a couple of people have pointed out that we do actually have a bit of a weak spot in the prison, and that is that when I've done my other ones, the other prisons, especially the last one, they were closer to this, closer to the wall, there were buildings between them and such, so they would have to go around, tunnel around, whereas this one, if someone's here, they just have to tunnel straight down. It's literally, if the toilet's there, go through that wall, space, perimeter wall, the hardest to dig through, and then they can dig along here and then exit there. So it's still a fair amount for them to go to actually dig, but we'll see what happens with that one. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. we will probably have to do regular searches and have dog patrols going back and forth. But that's interesting, right? So that's okay. I don't really mind that. Anyway, I'm going to go to reports and probably go to grants. And we need another grant. So I'm just going to go for the long-term investment because I've got enough money at the moment to get on with it. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, that'll give us 16,000. We've almost got our short-term investment completely done. Detention centre will be done this episode as well. So I don't think we'll really run out of money. I don't think there'll be a problem there. It looks like we're knocking this down quite well. Yeah, that's going down, and they are demolishing all of the floor there and ripping it up. And then the warden is probably going, what the hell is all that noise? Let's just go to our bureaucracy, and we probably need to research security and maintenance. We'll get on with all of that because eventually we're going to have to start going for deployment, CCTV and all of that sort of thing. Looks like they're just over halfway on this entire thing. One of the problems with sacking a lot of your own, that's now shouting at me because this isn't obviously all done completely, sadly. We'll get on with that. Yeah, now one of the things that you have a problem with when you sack a lot of your workmen is that they are, well, they just take a while. They take a while to build everything because there's not a lot of them. Yeah, as you can see, we've planned that off there. What I'm going to do is, well, I need to run a perimeter wall all the way along the outside, but just for the time being, let's just go to materials and put a bit of fence like that. There we go. We could actually have that as fence if we really wanted to, because this bit is really, nobody's going to come to this outside bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I think I prefer to have that as, a big, I don't know. We could have that as fence. I think at the front here, there's no real problem with this being fence up to there, because that's going to be building. So it's going to be probably from there onwards here. Basically, around the bit that you want to secure, the bit around the cell blocks, it's going to be perimeter wall. The rest will just be it'll just be standard fence. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, looks like they are getting on with that quite nicely. We've already got this area sectioned off, which is good. Obviously, we've got 2 security stations, 2 solitary. Don't know whether we really need the 2 security. Someone mentioned we could probably put a cleaning cupboard in there. But again, as I pointed out in the last episode, I don't really want to have a separate... I don't really want to have areas in here that are going to be potential security risks. So cleaning cupboard, you can steal poison from it and such. So I don't want them in here. I'd rather have them elsewhere over there. And even if the janitors use them, we'll have to see what happens there. Obviously, it might be problematic because in order to clean the different areas of the prison, we need to have prisoners of different categories allowed to each individual area. Look at that, one little gap there. Oh, it's even got a little god ray coming through it. And then, once he's done the corner bit, there we go. All the way along. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money we just spent. Right, so, let us get on with our cells. So we need to go. We're going to go with the TIT. Or the ITI layout of the prison. There we go. And I'm just following this down the bottom there, as you can see. And this just allows us to fit in everything we can. I'm not going to do the top bit. We don't need to do that yet at all, because that'll be far too much. And then we'll do that. And then we'll go back. And we might as well put the brick walls in over here. There we go. And then I think we'll run some power. It's something that I've been laying off for quite some time, and I think it's about time we really get on that. Let's just put these in as well. Now, obviously, there'll be doors along here and all sorts of things, so, yeah, we don't need to worry about that too much. This is going to be a security station, so I'll have it... I think we'll have it... Well, obviously, we need an entrance there. But how am I going to do this thing? I'll have the entrance there, I think, in that corner. Have it there. Then we'll run along. Put these in, but obviously we won't really be doing anything with the top bit for now. I'm just putting... It's only a little bit. And we'll do the solitary as well, because we get solitary up, and we'll be using solitary from day 1. Normally what I do is leave it so if there's any punishment to be handed down, we generally shove them in their cells, and we say, no, you stay there. But no, I think what we're going to do is stick them in solitary from day 1. We'll have a very, very harsh policy in this prison. I think that's what we're going to do. Anyway, they're going to run around and start placing things. What I need to do go to our objects, just utilities rather, and start running some utilities down the place, like so. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this because we will have a bit of a problem when it comes to some of the items here. I need to plumb in these. So there's them plumbed in, and then I'll just connect these up like so. We need to run out as well. Out to the door to there, because we're going to have our metal detectors there as well. And we'll leave that there. We'll see how much we can power up with that. Obviously, then I need to power up all the other rooms around here. This is going to be our, well, that area there and that area there. Going to be our visitation. So we'll have to worry about that. Many things to actually worry about. We need to run some pipe as well, but I think I'll run it up and along. That's probably the best thing to do. We'll actually run some of this cable up and then along and then run it straight down. That's probably the... do you want to do that? I want to straight out and then across. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm feeling straight up like that. Then across to there. And right down there. We'll have just basically a spine of electricity. Large pipe will do something very similar up to there. Along. And then right down. And I'll put it to... there for now. Don't think it needs to be any more than that. Right, so they are cracking on here. As you can see though, it is taking them a little bit of time because it's a fairly large prison. So it's only a medium-sized prison. I've never done I think I've done a large prison once. I've never done it on the channel, but I've tried to play it single player and it's good grief. Tell you, that is far too big to deal with, to be honest with you. Today's beverage is leam tea. It's green tea with a hint of lemon. Right. Which I guess is like lemon tea. Right. So, they need to put the lights in, which they are. Then we need to power this thing up. That's a lot of lights in there. I've placed most of them now, which is all good. They are going to be finishing off, well, placing all of these. Do I want to hire any more workmen? No, not really. I think they can get on with what they're doing now. 12 more hours until we get our short-term investment done. And obviously then we need to get on with the holding cell and the shower. So we might as well get on with that. So we'll go to our rooms and then we'll go to holding cell. And we're going to designate all that as holding cell. Then cancel that bit off there. Then we're going to go right at the back here. And then we will designate all of this as shower. So we'll clicky, draggy, draggy. All the way to there. Fantastic. Then we'll go back over here, and then we'll put in a toilet at either side, like so, and then we need a bench, and we're going to put a bench like that. And then what I want to do is go to our materials, and then brick wall, put a brick wall in like that, and then finally we need to put a standard door there just to section off these toilets, just so it looks reasonable. I also go back to objects while I'm over here and put some drains in. Like so. There we go. I know a couple of people have said we should widen up this area here, but don't think we really need to. I think that's fine because we've got access there, there, and there. If it was just one access of one wide, I think we'd have a problem, but I think it's alright as it is. Right. I think I will also go utilities while I'm on. Go to small pipes and just run the small pipe in there, right? I mean, just to plumb that in. There we go. And obviously we know we're going to put another sink over that area just to finish it off. But they're still working on placing everything else, so it's going to take them quite a while. Going to go back to objects, to a large jail door, shove a jail door there and then up there, just so we've got a better access to the prison as it stands, sort of thing. Anyway, there's that. But yeah, I think this area on the outside will make it look a little bit interesting because it was starting to look a bit like a concrete jungle and I wasn't really happy with exactly how it was looking. It looked fine, it was alright, but no, I think especially this gap here, I mentioned about this gap and it was starting to bug me a little. Not really that I'd have to change it, but I thought, well, if we did have this outside like someone mentioned, then it would look a bit better and it would just look a bit more interesting. So, yeah. I want to really touch on the regime and such. Now, there's been a lot of confusion on exactly how we're going to do this. The idea is that we have this, obviously this is our main section. This is the one we really need to focus on. This is going to be high risk, and as I said in the previous episode, we'll make it standard risk first and then progress to high and such. If things go according to plan. These are all, obviously, if everything goes smoothly. If not, we can, everything is subject to change, you understand. But, yeah, we're going to be having these as standard. These prisoners stand, and then we'll set up that regime and make sure that works. Then we'll have our protective custody and then supermax sections, which are actually too big. People mentioned this as well. They said, do you really think you need that size of supermax and that size of protective custody? No, not at all. But what I'm probably going to do is be very, very picky on who goes in the supermax and who goes in the protective custody. So protective custody is people who are obviously things like cop killers. We need to keep them away from everyone else. People who are known snitches, things like that. The one we really need to worry about are the supermax prisoners. Basically, anyone with violent tendencies, anyone with the deadly trait, and obviously legendary prisoners will go in there as well. Some people might not agree with that. Some people might say you should only put legendary prisoners in it, but I don't think we're going to get enough for that. But that's the general idea. Anyway, I digress. Going back to the actual regime, what we'll end up doing is setting up a regime for these that work, and then we'll stagger the regimes so that supermax and protective custody come in this area separately, so they'll never really see each other. So we'll have to stagger it. So basically, we'll have two sections on lockdown while the other is coming to eat in the canteen or whatever, and the only real time they will see each other is if it is all free time, which might happen. We might have an overlap because we just can't. I don't think I'll be able to have the regime spot on, but we'll have to see. Or if they're crossing each other in the corridor, that's generally the only time I want them to see each other. Only fleeting visits, basically, but again, like everything, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, 69,054 generic units of currency. Looks like most things are plumbed in, but they're just not getting on with that one. There we go there. There's that sorted. And then they're going to get on with these areas here. They still have it ordered. Now, they've got all this pipe to place and such, but that's okay. I'm just going to go to utilities, electrical cable, and then run this electrical cable up into there. And then these need sectioning off as well. So we'll run that into there. Then we'll run that into there, and then that should be powered up as well. There we go. Right. So that'll be the kitchen sorted out. As you can see, it's all dirty now, which is problematic. But we will have a holding cell and a shower pretty much sorted. I do need to go to objects and then to our... If I just scroll right in, it'll highlight for me shower head. And then right in the center here, we're going to go shower head all the way along. Then there's that sorted. I think we'll put some benches in as well, but I don't know exactly how we're going to fit them in. Put one there, we'll put one there. That'll do it quite nicely, I think. Job done. There's our shower. You don't need one of them, you understand, but I'm just putting them in. I should have really put them down there. I might as well. I'll cancel them off. And then go back to objects. They've still been bought, so we don't need to rebuy them. There we go. And then we'll go to bench, and we'll put the benches in. Same place, really, there and there. And then we've got a short-term investment done as well. 84,643 generic units of currency. Cool. So, come on. Speed up, workers. Speed up. I really want to get this done. I'm really regretting sacking them other two workers on the previous episode. But, you know, they're getting on with it. They're actually getting 630 units of currency per day. If I go to our regime, sorry. Can I get it? No, I can't change it yet. It was the policy I wanted to change, but I can't change that because we don't have access to it. So let's just go to bureaucracy, go for prison policy, and then we want to start researching things like deployment and probably prison labour as well. But obviously we haven't got the officers for that, so I might as well get on with that. We'll go to our rooms and then to office. Currently we have 3 of, now we have 5 of, and we're going to go to office desks and, you guessed it, we're going to fulfill the needs of the rooms. So spin everything around. It's basically going to be a clone of these rooms as well. The only thing different in there is the amount of dirt in them, and also the lights are in different places as well. But looks like I've got our infirmary all plugged in. That's got some lights on, which is good. That is conducive to the medical profession. You need light and you know, obviously electricity to do most things these days. And then we will, once that's done, a morgue's done, offices sorted. I say a morgue's done, it's not. Obviously we're missing the floor tiles and such. We will get to that at some point. It's always the last thing I do. It always is. It shouldn't be. It should be something that I should build it in with the other ones, but you know, it's just how I do things. I've had enough. I'm actually going to hire 2 more workmen. There we go. How much do they cost? 500 and 100 per day. So I probably haven't lost any money because we've been through at least 3 days. We're on day 5 now, and I sacked them right at the start. So yeah, I don't think we've lost any money really. Maybe 200, but not that much. But they're going to get on with this. very fast now. You can see they're going to be building everything else. So we'll almost have our holding cell done. I just need to go to utilities and run some small pipe up to there. And obviously that will make this function. Then to have these ones around here, we're going to probably run the pipe up straight up here. Run the like what we'll do with the electrical cable, we'll run it right up like so. Right into there, straight up. And then the large pipe, we'll do something very similar, but I think we'll run it up the center like that. And connect it up from there. I think that's going to be the most efficient way of doing things. Maybe. It's done now, so we're going to have to deal with it. There we go. We've got a little bit of grant ding-a-ling-a-ling. What does that mean? What's it say? It's got what does it say we've got done? That says it needs to be surrounded by walls and such. Well, that's it. It is, but we haven't got the jail doors in. So we'll put the jail doors in like so. There we are. And then we'll finish off the shower, which requires shower heads, which we've almost got done, and then that'll be done there. And then we just need to get guards and chefs, and then we've got that grant done as well. Right, excellent. What other grants should we have? Let's go to grants. Staff well-being, we can get that because that's easy to actually complete. We'll do that, and we'll almost be ready to get prisoners, I think. Why are they shouting about that one? They can't actually get to that. They say there's a route blocked. They'll get to it eventually. Right, I think we'll leave it there because I think we're ready to get prisoners. Ish. And next episode, we'll polish things off and make sure that this thing isn't just going to burn down or prisoners aren't going to run away straight away. Get some guards, get some staff, and we will crack on with... That's not a good thing, is it? All of that saying there's a problem. Ah, because these are stuck inside that room. Right, one moment here. Solitary door. Let's put a solitary door on there and a solitary door on there because I'll forget otherwise. Look at them, they're going, ah, help, and then they teleport a door to them, then open it up. If you can teleport a door to yourself, just teleport a black hole and go through. Just like a portable hole, that's what you need. Anyway, that'll probably fix that one. Right, comments in the comments, as always. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.